And we say good morning here on a Tuesday. What's going on, everybody? It is Christian Ballard, Ballard Sports Media. We don't have anyone watching quite yet. We are doing this stream kind of spur of the moment type of deal. I mean, I had it scheduled like 45 minutes ago or whatever. I went ahead and scheduled it. And just wanted to go live here. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube today. Make or break teams for this week. And it is almost Thanksgiving, a time to be grateful, thankful, blessed. Uh, when it comes to thinking about what God's blessed us with and everything like that. But if you're a college football fan, I would say more importantly, but it's really not more importantly. But on the side note, if you're a college football fan, Thanksgiving could only mean one thing: rivalry week. I kind of want to talk about that. Uh, we got 2 weeks. We're still waiting to see what the times are going to be. Hopefully that gets announced next week. That's very important for me because I got Iron Bowl tickets to go with my mother to the game this year in Tuscaloosa. But I kind of want to talk about what it looks like for the channel. We usually do a big week. I'd say a marathon, but I don't know. I don't know what work's gonna look like yet, other than I will be off on that Saturday. Um, and obviously on Thanksgiving, we won't be live for any of the games, I don't think. But there are some videos that I came up with ideas for, as far as I want to get back to doing the college football flashbacks, and I think in 2025 we'll definitely hit on those. I want to make going to the Iron Bowl. I want to make a video, like a vlog. I want to do the tidal wave talk for the 89th Iron Bowl. Of course, our Alabama preview each week. Uh, I came up with two flashbacks. I figured we'd go back 40 years for the Iron Bowl. 1984 was wrong way Bo, when Bo Jackson kind of went the wrong way and went backwards, and Alabama won. Uh, we could do Ohio State, Michigan in 1969. That's always a big rivalry in the game. But that game in particular, based on what I've read up on, uh, when you look back at that game, that was one of the biggest upsets in history. Michigan came into that game 7-2, and it was the start of what they called the 10-year war between Michigan and Ohio State. Ohio State all year long was ranked, and I'll talk more about this. I'll have to look into the game and give you guys more background, but I guess I could give you some here. Ohio State was the number one team in the country all year long. I'm talking, I mean, probably in the preseason too. Uh, and it was like the greatest college football team of all time. Now, I know that sounds kind of, been there, done that. What's the word, cliche? I don't know, but Woody Hayes had the best team ever, and Nick Saban had this Alabama team, or you had Georgia go back to back, and they're the best. And you've had those recently, right? You have the 2019 LSU, the 2020 Bamas, you have the 2010 Auburn, you have the weirdness of 2007, and it still ended up being LSU. And you just we see it all the time these days. Anytime someone wins a national title and goes unbeaten, we're like, this is one of the greatest of all time, and that's true. But when you really look at Ohio State from 1969, now think about it. Think about it. I was not born yet, but reading up on this, it seems like they were really, really good. They had uh, all Big Ten players. They had all Americans. Rex Kern was the quarterback. Jim Otis and John Brockington were running backs that were really good. They really came out with like three different running backs at the time for Ohio State. It was so cool to see. I've watched a little bit on YouTube. I've read up on it. Anyway, this game was like the ultimate upset when Michigan beat Ohio State that year. It was 1 versus 12. Bo Schembechler was a phenomenal head coach for Michigan. Woody Hayes, obviously, with what he did with the Buckeyes, and Michigan won. We'll get into it. We'll try to make time for that video. But getting back to rivalry week, right? Iron Bowl vlog. I'm going to the game. I want to get some footage. Tidal Wave Talk. We preview the 89th Iron Bowl. Ohio State, Michigan, 1969. 1984, Wrong Way Bo. Flashback. We will preview and predict Georgia Tech, Georgia, Texas, Texas A&M, South Carolina, Clemson. Right? And I think we got to predict the game too. Ohio State, Michigan preview. We'll put that on the list. We'll put it on the list there. Well, I'm excited for it. It's Thanksgiving. It's turkey time. Make or break teams this week too. We got to look into it. We'll pull up the schedule real quick, and we'll look at the schedule and what it looks like and what teams actually need to win this week. I think they just announced game times for next Saturday too. It's going to be a night game for Alabama, Oklahoma, in Norman. But what about some games here that could be potential upsets? And if they could be upsets, does a team need an upset? Okay, Northwestern's terrible. I'm going to skip that game. Ohio State could go in there and hang 100 if they wanted to, I think. Northwestern looks a little bit better than last year, but they're still down. Last time I checked, I think they only had like 3 wins. Well, they're at 4 wins. They're 4-5. Could they win that game? I don't know. At Michigan and Illinois, I'm seeing a 4-8 trend here for Northwestern, but I don't know. Anything's possible. They got good players, you know. They're 2-4 in the Big Ten play this year. Anyway, so Ohio State goes to Northwestern. Let's say Ohio State wins that game. It's probably not going to be close. It's an 11 a.m. kick, Big Ten Network. Okay. Texas at Arkansas. That's the game for me. Maybe. I can't decide between these three. These are three really interesting games here. Texas at Arkansas, Clemson at Pitt, Utah at Colorado. I would put last. I don't know. Okay. I think I'd meet in the middle with Clemson and Pitt. I might go Utah, Colorado last. My number one game for me is probably that Texas Arkansas game. Arkansas is really hot right now. I would say they're 5-4. They are coming off a big loss to Ole Miss, but they beat Mississippi State in a blowout. They beat Tennessee. We know they can win these games. I would not be shocked if they pull an upset over Texas. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it wouldn't surprise me one bit. There's just been so much weirdness and parody and craziness this season. Texas does come in favored. Let me let's look at this game. Let's look at Texas and Arkansas. What's it look like here? Let's go. I got to see this game here. Texas is favored 13.5 points. 13.5 points, 85% chance to win, almost 86. Okay, cool. Quinn Ewers versus Green at quarterback, Taylon Green, I'm sorry. Get the name right, Ballard. Let's go. Texas coming off a big win over Florida. Now, Florida's Florida, but they also beat Vandy in a close one. They've looked really good since the Georgia loss. Now, that Georgia loss, you could look at that one different ways. You say Texas. How do you get blown out by Georgia? But also, Georgia's really good, right? But it's Texas. They've been the best team all year long, and Georgia blew them out. And now you look at Carson Beck's interceptions and everything, you're like, something really is going on weird here. You know, it's not a bad team to lose to, but 15 points against Georgia at home, kind of ridiculous in my book for a team like Texas that's been dominant all year long up until that game. You look at Arkansas coming off an Ole Miss loss, 63-31. That's brutal. That is brutal. They beat Mississippi State, as everybody else. They lost to LSU, and they lost to A&M. Good teams. Don't be embarrassed to lose to them. You also got good wins over teams like Tennessee. Got to look at the rest of this real quick, though. I got to look at the rest of this. Um, who else has Arkansas played? Arkansas Pine Bluff. Their other loss is at Oklahoma State, and that was by 8 points. They did beat Auburn, as has anybody else. And again, I'm not here to troll anybody today, but they beat Auburn. Okay, by 10 points. That's not bad. I'll give them that. They went to Auburn. They won by 10. Auburn can't figure it out. Move on down the road. You lose a close one to A&M. Then you turn around. It's a roller coaster. It literally is like a roller coaster for the Razorbacks right now because they went out, right? When you look at this Texas and Arkansas game, what's going to happen? I mean, seriously, it's been a roller coaster. It's been up and down. It's been a wave for Arkansas. It really has when you look at it. Because they lost to Ole Miss. Not a bad loss. Lost to LSU. Not a bad loss. Beat Auburn. Is it really much of a win? What's Oklahoma State doing right now? I don't even know. But they were ranked and they lost to them by 8 points on the road in Stillwater. We had talked a little bit about that game, I think. I think we previewed it. But Arkansas, I think Arkansas, the conclusion we need to come to is this. At any given moment, they could get hot. They really could. They're 5-4. Let's say they beat Louisiana Tech next week. Okay? Let's say they lose to Texas, but they beat Louisiana Tech. They're going to a bowl. You can't ask any more from Sam Pittman, can you? I think the next 3 games, Texas at home, Louisiana Tech at home, and at Missouri. Even Louisiana Tech is a good team. That's not going to be easy, but it's doable. That's the most likely win. What about Texas at home and at Missouri? Ooh. Missouri's still trying to lock in a playoff spot. They're 7-2. Texas, they're going to the playoffs. They're 8-1. We don't even know. Look, if it ended right now, it's Tennessee, Texas A&M for the SEC title. Tennessee and Texas A&M based on standings. That's crazy. Texas is not in it, and yet they've been the best team all year long. One of them, at least, I would say. But you look at this Arkansas game, who needs it? Can Texas afford a second loss? I think they could. It wouldn't hurt them. But I think for a team like Texas, they need another victory. They got to keep going, right? It's not going to look bad if they lose to Arkansas. It's not like you lost to Arkansas. You need to shut up. Arkansas is a good team. They're a really good team. And I give them props. I give them credit. Arkansas needs it more than Texas does. Is it possible that Arkansas can win this game at home? Heck yeah. I've seen upset after upset every single week. I mean, come on. What's up, Mayhem? Make or break teams this week. I got to go with Arkansas here. I got to. I got to go with Arkansas. Uh that's one of the top teams there, right? So Texas and Arkansas, I don't really have a prediction, but keep an eye on it this weekend. Don't be surprised if Arkansas comes away with an upset or at least a scare for Texas. This could get interesting. Really get interesting. Who else who else could we talk about here? Alabama needs a win against Mercer. I know it sounds crazy to say that. Mercer, listen to this. And we'll talk about it in Tidal Wave Talk. We'll find time to record that this week. Mercer has a better record than Alabama. Mercer has a better record than Alabama. That's crazy. How? I don't know. The schedule they play. But think about this. Mercer's 9-1. Alabama's 7-2. Now it doesn't mean anything. Alabama's going to beat them like a drum on Saturday. But they're a good team. DJ Smith at quarterback, 9 touchdowns responsible for, 6 interceptions. 6 interceptions. Well, Jalen Milroe's got that too. But 9 touchdowns, I'll give it to him. That's really, really good. Over 1,000 yards throwing. You got their lead receiver has 4 receiving touchdowns on the year, Keelan Parsons. You got Dwayne McGee is the running back, 910 yards, 7 touchdowns on the ground. Compare that all, though, to what Jalen Milroe can do with his legs, 16 rushing touchdowns. Ryan Williams with 7 receiving touchdowns from Milroe. I know who's going to win this game, but I Mercer might score. They might score some points. Not too many. Maybe no more than 10 or 14. Maybe they get 2 touchdowns. But also for some of this game, they got a solid defense. They could give Milroe a little bit of trouble, but I'm not holding my breath on that if I'm a Mercer uh, player or fan. I'm not holding my breath on that. But they're a really good team. They got a good record. Got a good record. Other games out there. Uh, I don't know where to go to next. Utah, Colorado. Let's click on that. Let's check it out. I think Colorado wins this game big time. They are favored by 10. It is at Colorado. It is a noon game. 7-2 Buffs, 4-5 Utes. Utah, can they make a bowl game? They have had injury bug after injury bug. They're on a 5-game losing streak. I'm not going to say that they're due for a win, but they darn sure need a win. And I don't know. I don't know if they're making a bowl. I really don't. I mean, they might beat UCF, but being 4-5 right now at Colorado and then home against Iowa State, who's really, really good, unless you can upset Iowa State, you're not making a bowl. I think I don't even know if they could beat UCF. Could they finish with a losing record? Could they finish on a losing streak? They've lost 5 in a row. Could they lose 3 more and lose 8 in a row? Is that possible for Utah? I don't know what's going to happen with them. But this is a make or break team. Utah got to beat Colorado, right? Can they do it? I don't think they could. I'm not going to say they are. I'm going with Colorado. Speaking of, I mean, go ahead, I guess, and lock in some of these pick'ems for this week. Let's go here. Okay. Play now. Tulane and Navy. This could go either way. I'm going to go Navy here. I like Navy this year. We'll come back. Well, no, we won't. Illinois and Michigan State. I would love to say Michigan State, but Illinois, better team. Michigan State struggling defensively, struggling to find their identity as an offense. Give me Illinois. LSU and Florida, it's not even going to be close. It's a good rivalry. It's a good rivalry. But Florida's struggling, and Billy Napier's fixing to be out the door. Well, no, he's not, because freaking Florida decides he's their guy. He's their guy. I don't know. Air Force, Oregon State. Both teams struggling, but Oregon State seems like a better team. Baylor, West Virginia. Winner goes to a bowl game. Ooh, this could go either way. I want to see the line. I got to see the line on this game here. 2.5 Baylor. West Virginia, though, with a 52% chance to win. Baylor's on a 3-game win streak. 2 of those games, well, no, one of those games, I'm sorry, by 1 possession against TCU. Baylor is coming off a bye. West Virginia is not. West Virginia is 3-2 in their last 5. So is Baylor. But these teams are not losing to like bad opponents. I mean, Kansas State and Iowa State for Virginia, West Virginia, I should say. Iowa State and BYU for Baylor. I don't know. Someone's making a bowl game first. Both of these teams might go to a bowl. Guarantee it. I'm gonna go West Virginia. Let's go. James Madison, Old Dominion. Nobody really cares too much, but James Madison. Arkansas State and Georgia State. I guess Arkansas State. Rutgers and Maryland could be interesting. 5-4 Rutgers, 4-5 Maryland at Maryland. Good game. Could be really good. I think Rutgers is a better team. But Maryland being at home, I think they're better than their record shows. Tennessee, Georgia. I don't even know who to pick in that one. Honestly, because Georgia's got somewhat issues at quarterback with Carson Beck's interceptions. It is in Athens. Tennessee's good, but it's at Athens. And Tennessee, I've never really liked on the road. Ever. Ever. Just don't. I mean, they're a good team. They're not bad. Trying to make the playoffs a little bit. 10-point spread. Night game in Athens. It's a night game. Yeah, take Georgia. Take Georgia big time. Kansas and BYU. BYU. Okay. Who do we come back to? I guess that's all the picks. I guess that's it. How many points in Tennessee, Georgia? Ooh. Georgia's got a good defense, and Tennessee's got good offense. That's fair. But it's in Athens. Georgia does not lose, nor do they rarely ever keep it close at home. I would expect somewhat of a blowout. The way they went to Texas and handled Texas, and now you get Tennessee at home. Could it be worse than that? I don't know. I'm gonna say, let's say this. I'll put my score and then I'll put the total number of points. 34-21 for a total of 55 points. All right. Now I got to log in and everything, but they're going to be saved. Anyway, but yeah, that's another game. Tennessee, Georgia. Tennessee loses, they get their second loss. Georgia, God, Georgia with 3 losses, could that happen? Could Tennessee win this game? They could, absolutely. What if Georgia? Oh my gosh. They got blown out by Ole Miss. I'm not here to make fun or troll. They got blown out 28-10. They're not going to the SEC title. Oh my gosh. And I think it's going to be a rematch the following week between A&M and Texas. That's what I think. But unless it's like Tennessee, unless Tennessee can pull this off and get there, I don't know. I mean, I picked Georgia, but like, it would not shock me if Tennessee beats um, beats Georgia. If Tennessee could pull this off, that'd be something. That would be something. Penn State, Purdue, nobody cares. Boston College SMU? Could be good. I don't know. Anyway, I think I've said everything I wanted to say. I'm not dropping the link this morning. I just wanted to come on here and talk some college football. We got rivalry week coming around the corner. Make or break teams this week. We kind of talked about it. I know Alabama plays Mercer, so that's not really much there. But we looked at Tennessee, Georgia, both of those teams in make or break mode. Utah, Colorado could be interesting. Clemson and Pitt both 7-2. LSU, Florida, 6-3 versus 4-5 Florida. LSU probably not making the playoffs, but uh, they need another win in the win column. They do. It is at the swamp. I'll go LSU, but it wouldn't shock me if Florida keeps it close. Missouri, South Carolina could be good. 7-2 Missouri at South Carolina, who's 6-3. Huh. South Carolina's favored by 11.5. I don't buy that with. Oh my gosh. Are you serious? 11.5 South Carolina? I don't know if I buy that much. You favor South Carolina over Missouri? Fine. But you're talking about a ranked team in Missouri. Ranked Missouri. That's crazy. That is crazy. Anyway, I got to get out of here. I do have some school stuff to take care of, and then I got to get to work later on. I just wanted to come on for a little bit. Make or break teams this week. It is almost rivalry week. Pumped up for it. But I love you guys. Jesus loves you. We'll see you later on. God bless. And from Ballard Sports Media, a Bama fan, but unbiased. Roll Tide. Now say it with confidence. Roll Tide. Let's go beat Mercer. I hope we do. Anyway, I love y'all.